It's another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, episode 450, and I'm Dr. Neil Malik. Hey there, hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Welcome to another Q&A edition of Optimal Health Daily, where I answer your health questions related to fitness, diet and nutrition, and lots more. You send me the questions, and I answer them for you. The reason I love answering your questions is because there's so many myths out there. So I want you to be able to turn somewhere to know that what you're getting is closest to the truth. I always try to base my responses to you on research, because that's what's most important. It's not necessarily stories that you hear from your family or friends, things that worked for them. What's really most important is, well, what does the data say? And again, if you've sent me a question and I haven't responded to you yet, I promise I will. Hang in there. And with that, I'm sure you're curious to hear today's question, so let's jump right in as we optimize your life.
Hello, Dr. Malik. It's Anthony Avila here. First, I would like to say how much I enjoy your podcast and how helpful and beneficial it has been to me. So thank you for that. I would like to ask you today to please discuss the benefits of incorporating a yoga or Pilates into a lifting program to help the person with their flexibility, if any benefits at all. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Anthony, and thank you so much for your kind words. I realized that I have mentioned yoga and Pilates many times before, but I never really took the time to discuss whether it's helpful for those that are strength training or are working out already. I've always said that both are great for beginners, young and the not so young, and of course for flexibility. So it's about time I discuss the actual health benefits of yoga and Pilates, especially for those that are already active. So I'll start with yoga first. Now this practice has been around for thousands of years, but only within the last 20 or 30 has it really gained momentum. And there's so many forms of yoga too. There's Hatha, Vinyasa, Power, Ashtanga, Bikram, etc. Then there are the subtypes of each of these. And you'll find that some instructors may incorporate versions of each one in their practice. The variations are seemingly endless. But basically what they all have in common are proper breathing and holding poses. It's believed that by practicing certain poses and controlling one's breathing, health benefits can be achieved. But is this really true? As I just said, I want this to be a place where you can find out the truth. And the best way to do that is, again, to look at the research. So what does the research actually say about the benefits of yoga? Well, let me answer it for you. A study conducted at Arizona State University using healthy adults found that after following a 6-week yoga program, all of their participants saw decreases in blood pressure and increases in upper body and trunk dynamic muscular strength and endurance and flexibility. They also reported having less stress. Now, this study was small and only followed people for 6 weeks, so it'd be good to see if these results lasted months later. A separate study using 27 college students found that after following a 12-week yoga program, participants improved their grip strength, reaction times, and respiratory endurance, which basically takes into account how strong your lungs are. Now, you may be thinking, okay, but were these folks athletes? Were they already active? What if they weren't really active to begin with? Wouldn't following any program help them? Those would be all valid points. So let's look at some of the data on athletes, although there's not as much of it, unfortunately. But sure enough, when we look at athletes, we find that yoga is beneficial for them as well. One of the main benefits is injury prevention. A nice side effect of practicing yoga is improved flexibility, as I mentioned before, which can prevent all sorts of injuries. There are a number of studies that have been shown yoga's effect on flexibility. The other benefit of yoga is that it tends to work your core. When you think about the poses that yoga requires you to perform, you'll quickly notice that so many of these poses require you to engage the muscles from your chest and upper back down to your thighs and hamstrings, basically your entire core. Core strength and stability is so important for most athletes, especially if strength training is a large component of their routines. We're even finding that the controlled breathing that yoga requires can reduce the lactic acid buildup that occurs when you work out at a high intensity. So imagine you're running sprints and you notice your legs start to burn from all that hard work. That burning sensation is telling you that your muscles are exhausted. But some researchers have found that with yogic breathing, you can actually decrease this lactic acid buildup or shorten how long that burning sensation lasts. This means you'll be able to jump back in and run some more sprints sooner rather than later. Now, this same mechanism applies to weightlifting. When your arms or shoulders or chest start to burn when you're working out, that's lactic acid building up. With yogic breathing, some of that may be minimized. Okay, so moving on to Pilates. This method of training hasn't been around quite as long as yoga, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. The Pilates method was created by Joseph Hubertus Pilates back in the 1920s. Usually Pilates involves 25 to 50 repetitive, low-impact flexibility and muscular endurance exercises with an emphasis on muscular exertion in the core, abs, lower back, hips, thighs, and glutes. So there is definitely some overlap between the foundation of Pilates and yoga. For example, Pilates also focuses on building strength through the use of various poses and focusing on one's breathing. The research on this is not as abundant, but it does appear that Pilates can help improve abdominal endurance, hamstring flexibility, and upper body muscular endurance. Now, when we say abdominal endurance, muscular endurance, what we're basically talking about is how long can you hold a pose. This is different from muscular strength. Muscular strength, think like 1 rep max. How much can I lift at one time? But of course, muscular endurance is important too. So both yoga and Pilates appear to be safe and beneficial for most adults, even athletes. But what I particularly like about both of these modes of training is that they provide variety. So often we get stuck performing the same workouts at the gym and doing the same moves. But by incorporating something new, like yoga or Pilates, and performing different moves, you're changing things up. Plus, you're changing things up using relatively safe, low-impact moves. The bonus is, a potential side effect of practicing yoga and Pilates is you may actually feel less stressed and more focused in other areas of your life. To me, that sounds like a pretty good deal. Thank you again for the question, Anthony. You'll be entered into a very small raffle every month to win a book. And if you want to be in the raffle, send me a question. Just come by oldpodcast.com. Once you're in and on the main site, there's a red bar along the side of the page that you can click on and record right from your computer's microphone. It's really easy, and you can even play back your message and do retakes before sending it in. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and call in. The number is 61 I love OHD. Both methods are in this episode's description, which you can find at oldpodcast.com. All right, I hope you had a wonderful week. That was episode number 450, and that's all because of you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening all the way through. Thank you for being a subscriber. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you back here on Monday, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show, and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.